Hello my friends, how are you? Today we want to talk about best video games of all time. Please watch it until to end, and if you enjoy it please like and subscribe our channel. Let's go. Number 10. God of War. God of War is an action-adventure game franchise created by David Jaffe and developed by Sony's Santa Monica studio. It began in 2005 on the PlayStation 2 (PS2) video game console and has become a flagship series for PlayStation, consisting of 9 installments across multiple platforms. Based on ancient mythologies, the series plot follows Kratos, a Spartan warrior who becomes the god of war and comes into conflict with various mythological pantheons. The earlier games in the series are based on Greek mythology and see Kratos follow a path of vengeance against the Olympian gods. The later games are based on Norse mythology and see Kratos go on a path of redemption while also introducing his son Atreus as a secondary protagonist. Number 9. Uncharted 4. Uncharted 4: A Thief's End is a 2016 action-adventure game developed by Naughty Dog and published by Sony Computer Entertainment. It is the fourth main entry in the Uncharted series. Set several years after the events of Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception, players control Nathan Drake, a former treasure hunter coaxed out of retirement by his presumed dead brother Samuel. With Nathan's longtime partner, Victor Sullivan, they search for clues to the location of Henry Avery's long-lost treasure. A Thief's End is played from a third-person perspective, and incorporates platformer elements. Players solve puzzles and use firearms, melee combat, and stealth to combat enemies. In the online multiplayer mode, up to 10 players engage in cooperative and competitive modes. Number 8. Grand Theft Auto 5. Grand Theft Auto 5 is a 2013 action-adventure game developed by Rockstar North and published by Rockstar Games. It is the seventh main entry in the Grand Theft Auto series, following 2008's Grand Theft Auto 4, and the 15th installment overall. Set within the fictional state of San Andreas, based on Southern California, the single-player story follows three protagonists: a retired bank robber Michael DeSanta, Ned Luke, street gangster Franklin Clinton, Sean Fontenot, and drug dealer and gunrunner Trevor Phillips, Stephen Ogg, and their attempts to commit heists while under pressure from a corrupt government agency and powerful criminals. Number 7. God of War Ragnarok. God of War Ragnarok is an action-adventure game developed by Santa Monica Studio and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. It was released worldwide on November 9, 2022, for both the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, marking the first cross-gen release in the God of War series, and is set to be released for Windows on September 19, 2024. It is the 9th installment in the series, the 9th chronologically, and the sequel to 2018's God of War. Loosely based on Norse mythology, the game is set in ancient Scandinavia and features series protagonist, Kratos, and his now teenage son. Number 6. The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time is a 1998 action-adventure game by Nintendo for the Nintendo 64. It was released in Japan and North America in November 1998 and in PAL regions the following month. The game is the first in the Legend of Zelda series with 3D graphics. Ocarina of Time was developed by Nintendo's Entertainment Analysis and Development Division. It was led by 5 directors, including Eiji Aonuma and Yoshiaki Koizumi, produced by series co-creator Shigeru Miyamoto, and written by Kensuke Tanabe. Number 5. Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid is an action-adventure stealth video game developed and published by Konami for the PlayStation in 1998. It was directed, produced, and written by Hideo Kojima, and follows the MSX2 video games Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2: Solid Snake, which Kojima also worked on. It was unveiled at the 1996 Tokyo Game Show and then demonstrated at trade shows including the 1997 Electronic Entertainment Expo. Its Japanese release was originally planned for late 1997, before being delayed to 1998. Number 4. Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 is a 2023 role-playing video game developed and published by Larian Studios. It is the third main installment to the Baldur's Gate series, based on the tabletop fantasy role-playing system of Dungeons & Dragons. A partial version of the game was released in early access format for macOS and Windows in October 2020. It remained in early access until its full release for Windows in August 2023, with versions for PlayStation 5, macOS, and Xbox Series X releasing later that year. Number 3. The Witcher 3. The Witcher 3: Wild Hunt is a 2015 action role-playing game developed and published by CD Projekt. It is the sequel to the 2011 game The Witcher 2, Assassins of Kings, and the third game in the Witcher video game series, played in an open world with a third-person perspective. The games follow the Witcher series of fantasy novels written by Andrzej Sapkowski. The game takes place in a fictional fantasy world based on Slavic mythology. Number 2. The Last of Us. The Last of Us is a 2013 action-adventure game developed by Naughty Dog and published by Sony Computer Entertainment. Players control Joel, a smuggler tasked with escorting a teenage girl, Ellie, across a post-apocalyptic United States. The Last of Us is played from a third-person perspective. Players use firearms and improvised weapons and can use stealth to defend against hostile humans and cannibalistic creatures infected by a mutated fungus. In the online multiplayer mode, up to 8 players engage in cooperative and competitive gameplay. And the best video games of all time is Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a 2018 action-adventure game developed and published by Rockstar Games. The game is the third entry in the Red Dead series and a prequel to the 2010 game Red Dead Redemption. The story is set in a fictionalized representation of the United States in 1899 and follows the exploits of Arthur Morgan, an outlaw and member of the Van der Linde gang, who must deal with the decline of the Wild West while attempting to survive against government forces, rival gangs, and other adversaries. The game is presented through first and third-person perspectives, and the player may freely roam in its interactive open world. Thank you for watching. Bye.